Today's a good day to go live. Why not? What day isn't? The last live that I did, Star was in the chat. And that was so cool. I was like, oh my goodness. I just saw that today. I didn't even check the chat. I was so trying to run into the thrift shop with the family that I didn't even glance at the chat. Let me see. And then, wow, you're first. I'm happy. I do it all the time to people that I really like. I'll say first. And then I'll always get that one person who gets so pissed, like, that's outdated. That's like, that's whack. They're like, you sure about that? I don't think it's whack. Let's go live. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. Let's not talk about the two sons. Sports betting? No, I'm not a betting man. I don't bet. Even though I'm in the stock market pretty heavy. Yeah, I put my whole life savings in it now. But other than the stock market and crypto, so I can't say that any longer. I can't say I'm not a bettor. I'm absolutely a bettor. I have not done the sports betting then. See, everybody has to change. Like Joe Rogan, he's like, everyone has to change. But let me also say this about that Joe Rogan situation. That Joe Rogan situation is a situation that it's like, okay, retrocausality. I wanted to do this show about retrocausality so bad, but I was kept trying to get LJ, and by the time I get home, LJ is tired. She had 2 children to homeschool. She had 2 children to tell stop 185 times. Stop being so rough. Come on. No, I don't want to know. Keep it to yourself. Stop snitching on your brother. Stop snitching on your sister. No, please. Can you finish this? Can you sit still? She's doing it all day. When I come home, I'm talking about, let's do a video about Tasha K. She's like, what's up with this scarf? Okay, maybe I have it. Boom. So I thought that's funny. And retrocausality. I was listening to this guy named Matt from Quantum of Conscience, and he's talked about retrocausality for years. Here and there, little bites, and then he has this site that's called Free Voice.io, and on freevoice.io, it's basically like you go into like his website kind of a thing, and it's a little more deeper than the actual and YouTube allows any longer. Even though they're on Free Voice, he's so used to not saying certain things. Like, he calls it jab. He'll call it the September 11. He'll do something like, he refers to it as the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven job application. That's what he calls it. So a lot of times, if you're not 3-4 years into his stuff, you're not gonna know what he's talking about. It's funny. And so you should check that out. Go to freevoice.io, and it's really good. His name is Matt. And he was talking about retrocausality, and I was thinking how when Tasha K is going to this case, right? And this case is about defamation of character using the internet, right? As a way to bully somebody. And this is precedented stuff, like this is the kind of stuff that can make it seriously to the Supreme Court. This thing could go in front of District 9 or whatever it is. This could make it up to the big ones, the Sotomayor's, all that. Not that I know anything about this, because Tone from Tone Talks, he hates when people that didn't go to college ever talk about politics in any kind of way. He's so rude. He's so rude. He's like, I'm tired of these people without a college degree telling me this and that and the other. I'm like, whoa, dude. Slow it down. But, people are allowed to be angry or they're angry. And he's definitely angry. That's a fact. That's Tone from Tone Talk talking about. What else? So Tasha K and retrocausality, I was thinking about that. And I was thinking how we have to think about what's happening in the future is going to affect the past. While we're busy living here in the present, we're affected by what happened in the past. We're living, in other words, like let's say the sins of the father kind of a thing, right? Or let's say, okay, you're 17 years old, you are running around hanging out with the wrong crowd. Somebody throws a rock into a window of a clothing store, and everybody jumps and grabs clothes out of the window. This was like even now they have the kids, they run in the stores and they grab something, right? So you grab something, and then as you're like leaving, sometimes there's like 30 people do it, and like 3 or 4 people go to jail for it. But what if 3 or 4 of those people that went to jail for it were given a felony? And they're like, whoa, the jeans you had on were like, the jeans you took were $3,000. You got a felony now. No jail time, don't worry about it. But you have that felony. So you will now suffer because of that. Let's say you move on to the future, 20 years in the future. That felony, what you did in the past, right? You're being affected by that present time that you're living. And what retrocausality is that in the future, you are doing something is happening in the future. You're still living in the present in this moment, but in the future you're being affected by the future is affecting the past, that then affects your present. So at some point, that kid who who got the jeans in the mall, let's say he's 20 years into the future, changes his whole life. I mean, it was a pair of jeans in the mall, not a big thing. But as far as on paper, it looks bad. Like maybe certain jobs you weren't able to get. Maybe there was just certain limitations of credit lines and things like that. Or just your life can be ruined by this thing. So that was because of the past. They're struggling because of what happened in the past. But this same instant of living in that present, in that moment, like when you're right there, when you're washing dishes and you're minding your own business, and you I always use the washing dishes reference because it's the place where you are at the most present you could ever be. They try to change those things by putting up televisions. Remember back in the days that the big TVs underneath the cabinet, And the shower used to be a place too, but then they started putting radios in the shower. So you were very, very not in those moments. But washing dishes, it keeps you right present in that moment where you're not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, you're just living. And you're actually in the most pleasant place of in your mind can ever be. It's at the moment. And what I'm talking about is that what happens in the future affects what's happening into your present now because of what happened in your past. That's like a retrocausality. It's not the easiest thing to explain, but basically what's happening in the future will affect the past, and that past you will have lived, and you will be in some sort of present moment be affected by it, and you're not aware that this is even happening. But it's happened. It's happened. And Tasha came and heard it. I started to think about retrocausality because so much is going to happen because of this simple girl from the Bronx who felt a certain way about a woman who doubled down, tripled down, and quadrupled down on a lie. And that lie, knowing lie, thought crimes, all these kind of things that futuristic can be very, very true. Very, very, it can happen. So thought crimes, whatever the future is going to present itself, will be affecting us. And it doesn't have to happen where we have to get there. We will get there, but we will be affected by it. Affected by it. We will be affected by it. I have a lot to learn about this beautiful language we call that we're speaking, these words, all these verbiage that's coming out. I wish I could be like a Days of Noah. You know, that guy's just take a pen and a pad and just broaden your whole mind. And Yvette Arnell's good too with words. What was the word that she did this week that had me? I wrote it down. I even put it on my Facebook. It's grant. Add grant. It's gonna bother me. Give me one sec. Don't hang up. I couldn't find it, but it's about taking something small and making it so much greater. And she used the word, and she enunciated it different than the Google did. I remember that. Aggrandizement. Yeah, aggrandizement. She said that word, and I was like, and I looked it up, and I wanted to learn it and maybe add it to something. Days of Noah is like the best. I mean, that's the most articulate man, and he's like velvet. The guy's like, he's like swimming in velvet when he speaks. I was telling LJ because she hit me to him because she listens to Days of Noah all the time. And I was like, you gotta have a crush on this guy. I mean, you know, he's putting me to sleep and you're wide awake, loving this. So, but let me digress from all that. Retrocausality is what we're maybe discussing for the most part. And this retrocausality, Tasha K, I believe, has, by having this case with Cardi B, she has then influenced the future, and something has happened in the future that will definitely affect us in our present. Whenever that present is, I don't know. It could be a month from now, a week from now, 17 years from now. But it's happening. Not 17 years from now. Whatever the case is, this is going to be so much deeper than it appears to be right now to the average person. People are just thinking about the money, the $3.8 million. I'm thinking about retrocausality and how this is going to, I keep saying, affect all of us. Everyone is going to be affected by this. And I'm wondering if she's knowing of this to some degree. I don't know if she's in on it, but I'm saying that she's so not giving a F and still quadrupling down on it. There seems to be some sort of prize maybe that has been promised to her, dangled to her to some degree. You know? You ever been promised something so you had a little extra confidence going in the room? She is overly confident, which makes me believe in retrocausality, and that's what did it for me. Because why would a person be this arrogant and this so like whatever? I did what I did, and then use the lawyer that she used, Olga. Use this horrible lawyer. The it was just, who would do this unless you were promised something? Was she, Tasha K, promised something, and this retrocausality is all part of it? And we all screwed possibly because of all this. Nothing is happening that's here to help us. It's all here to some degree in a world scale, it appears. I was just looking at something today where a guy is like walking through Peru, and he's like going through all the ghettos of, he goes to all ghettos all over the world. He's all over the, he doesn't want to go to the tourist spots. He goes all to the ghettos, and then he learns whatever their vernacular is, and their little words like, yo, what up, what's popping, what's good, I see you, ah ha ha, that's what's up. And that's what he does throughout the world. So he learns those 3 or 4 words that'll get you in a room where people be like, oh, he's just us. And then he's wearing the mask, and he kind of used that, and he says certain words real fast, like as if you're a native. He's really good. I've watched like 4 episodes of his, and I'm not gonna give his name right now. I don't have to think about that. If I see it again, maybe I will. But what I did notice in all of these places he's gone is that the sky is completely gray. And there was, when he was walking down the street, he was asking a person about the suntan lotion. He said, why are you selling suntan lotion? He's like, there's no sun. And he was in Peru, and there was no sun. I mean, completely cast over. If we're not being, if the screen is not needing to be adjusted and fixed, we are being terraformed. I'm just saying. I'll say that one more time, like Umar Johnson. If the screen is not being fixed, we're being terraformed worldwide. And they had double mask. In Peru, you have to wear the white mask underneath, and then you have to wear the cloth, like N1 kind of mask on top of the white. So there has to be a cloth one, because I guess they want you to throw the cloth one out every day, but you have to walk through the streets. And every block there was an official on every corner. And we're talking about intersections that are pretty big, huge intersections, like 125th Street intersections, like we're talking about, I don't know how many feet, but the average intersection, the average Main Street intersection, they had a cop on every corner, and they weren't armed. They just had like the uniform. There was some sort of maybe monitoring, and I think they're the ones that are like, yo, put your mask up. And I watched the video, and there was so many people. I would say it was less than 0.0001% that didn't wear the mask. And they were all like, the guy with the Gucci shirt and the Rolex watch and the tight jeans, moving real fast. He didn't have a mask on. Everyone else did. And it was only like 2 people like that in the like hour-long video with hundreds of people walking by. So retrocausality, let's get back to that. Retrocausality, Tasha K, I believe, is part of some sort of retrocausality, right? Joe Rogan. I was saying how Joe Rogan, because I used to listen to Joe Rogan back in I started in 2010, 11, 12, 2013 maybe? 2013, I think, I was listening to Joe Rogan. I'm not sure, in 2013 or 2015. And I used to listen to Joe Rogan all the time. And I thought he was pretty good. He had all those scientists that would come in. This is way before I even imagined waking up. This is way before I even thought the way I think now. And I could see Joe Rogan in the beginning of his career purposely saying the N-word, right? Just so that Like he's like, I'm gonna say it because if I blow up and get so big that I have to apologize for this, I want to get so big. That could actually be like a little joke that he can, like, he's gonna need tweaking, but he can make a joke about how he only said the N word because he promised himself that when he made it so big that he would have to apologize. He's gonna be like, and I did. I apologize. My life is so great. I got this huge family. I got this world. I got money coming out of the world. I'm respected on so many levels. I had to apologize, and I told myself that I was not. Yeah, that would be a great joke. Joe Rogan should work that joke out. Like, he purposely said the N word just so that he can test whether he was gonna ever make it in life. I actually did something like that once before. I have a cousin who lives in Japan. And right when I was waking up, he had came in after not being in town for like, he was gone for like 7 years. So he came by for a couple of months, I think. And I saw him. I said, let me make sure I see him this time before he leaves for Japan. Because he's been going back and forth to Japan for, 30 years. And he looks great. I saw a picture of him recently on Facebook, and like the guy looks young and handsome, slim. He's looking great. I'm like, God bless him. And we're like the same age. I might be a year older than him, tops. And I forgot why I was even saying that. I'm just rambling. Okay. Joe Rogan is highly knowledgeable. That's what I was talking about. And the vast array of topics. He ain't racist. No, he's not racist. Hell no. Yes. Doubling down because she's embracing inside. She just doubled down because she embraced inside. She's embarrassed inside. She's embarrassed inside. No, it's not embarrassing. You got to think bigger than that. Respectfully, bigwig. Also as linguistically a genius as well. Oh, isn't he the guy with the British accent? Days is solid. Facts. Hey, LJ's here. Boom. I'm old school. Looking good, Elvis. Thank you. I appreciate that. What stocks and crypto do you own the most? Big wig. Oh man, I put a lot of money in Novio, but my Tesla's done very well. Even when Tesla went down recently, I still was up crazy because I was there when Tesla did the recent when they double your stocks. They gave me 5 shares for every 1 share that I had. I woke up one day with 15, 20 new shares. I was like, and then it went all the way back up to like 1,000. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Then even when it goes down, it's no big deal because I was there when it flipped over. You see, but it's all okay. I was just a little upset that I couldn't put back as much more as I wanted to. But I'll wait for it to split again. Oh, that's what they call that, splitting the stocks. And I was there for when they did that. My booking holdings Inc. That's BKNG, I believe. I'm doing really well with that. And they went down too, and I still was popping. And what else is doing good? My Coinstar is down, but I'm just gonna wait. I played myself. I got in too late, and I'm not gonna pull out. I'm gonna stay in. What else? My Moderna's doing good. All my Pfizer and all that. You see, I got in early, so early in 2020. So I did. No matter how bad it does now, I'm still up. Only thing I have to do is wait for it to go down and just boom, drop something on it. But money is not really like that for me, where I can just, I have most of the money that I dip my stock in was my savings. So I don't have a big nest egg where I can just keep on dropping. I don't have the passive income like that where I could just keep on, adding to it. So that sucks. But most of everything is doing all right. It was up, it was down. Now it seems to be going back up. I really don't even look at it anymore. I look at it maybe once a week because I'm not in there. Like I think, oh, you know what else is doing really well is AutoZone. But my Axum went down a lot. That's the body cameras. But come on, it's body cameras. Come on, it's body cameras. How bad could body cameras do? And I only have, I have 100 shares of that. And so even when it was going down, I did well. Oh, okay. I'm seeing like old friends are popping up over here. Do I mess with? No, not yet. Apple and Disney are super cheap right now. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I have Apple. I have only like 10 shares, 20 shares. The chef cooking again. Good to see it. Oh, okay. So, retrocausality was kind of the topic. It doesn't have to continue to be the topic. Retrocausality was just something that I saw happening with the Joe Rogan thing. Oh, and I was trying to use Joe Rogan as the example with that joke. Joe Rogan is making the joke that he purposefully planned to put that word out there, right? Joking with his friends, and he didn't attack any one particular person like that. The way he did it was very like just him and his homeboys hanging out, and they just dropping the M-bomb, and then they laughing about it like like little girls. And the retrocausality, I was trying to correlate the two. I was trying to put those two together, and it was just like how retrocausality is just it appears to be such a real thing when you start to recognize that we've kind of created this concept of time, which makes a lot of sense. Of course, this time makes sense. The sun goes up, it comes down, every 24 hours we created, we could just, like, come on, it's like, it makes sense. It does make sense. I get it. But it's not like that for everything. They got some plants that bloom only for one day. They have insects that come out of the ground every 14 years. And then we finding out that it wasn't just in one place. It's like all over. And then they finding out that these things taste exactly like shrimp. You take one of those loud, crickety sounding things that come up every so often, bite into that, shrimp. Exactly like shrimp. So that's the whole part of this fluid reality that we're in. So we can understand that time is, yes, it makes sense, and yes, I have to be at work at a certain time, and I gotta pay my bills by this time. Yeah, I get all the jokes. I know. Don't hit me in the comment section talking about time, how it's not real, but I still gotta go to work in the morning at 9 p.m. I get that. Just think bigger than just right this very moment, like Tasha K being embarrassed. Tasha K was embarrassed, so she was so, her ego, that's like relating to ego. My question is a thought experiment on what if she knew that if she behaved a certain way would lead the world into this particular place, and for that you will be rewarded. Just saying, let's think bigger here. Let's have a thinking exercise on Tasha K and retrocausality, on Joe Rogan and retrocausality. Retrocausality is something that we need to really have like some serious thought exercises on. And let's massage this whole something happening in the future affecting the past, that now it's all in your present. And you're living all through those kind of things. I mean, these bugs taste like shrimp. How's that real? see what else we got here. Thank you for that, Fact Chef. Hey, red face, I see you. 707. Stop capping for the grafted man. I'm not caping. You probably said caping. Stop caping for the grafted man. No, I'm not caping for Joe Rogan. Come on. This guy is a regular man who's, from Jersey. Come on. Let me not even go there. I get what you're saying, though. Let me take these off so I can read. Thanks to catch it live. Thank you for that. Carla, hey. Frankie, yo, do you think they're spraying the sky? Yo, do you think they're spraying the sky? Duh. You can see that. Why? No one knows. That's it's not, are they? Is, why are they? And like I said, if this is some sort of reality, generating machine that we're living in, right? We're living in some sort of machine that obviously keeps producing all these fossil fuels. These places, it's like they're supposed to go dry, but they're pumping massive amounts of oil out of this earth. This earth could be creating some sort of, it's like some sort of machine we're in. And then this reality generating machine is like all part of around us. And not like Star Trek. You went to Star Trek and they had that area where you would, the holodecks and all that kind of stuff where, the room was maybe 20 by 20 and you get to run a little bit and, you get to fall down. But for the most part, everything you see is like generated in this little room, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how, there might be certain buildings and certain churches and certain places that is actually real. You can touch it. Just kind of what we see is the reality generating machine at work. Like, are those people crossing the street? Are these cars driving by? Possibly, yes. Am I sitting in this particular vehicle? Yes. Maybe it just doesn't look this way. It only looks this way to me. Maybe I could be sitting in some sort of, all of them are on the same platforms. Do you know about cars? You got that new Maserati. You have the Jaguar. You have the new Maserati, the Jaguar, and about 5 other cars on the same platform. The other companies, they just come in and just put their body parts on top of it. It's like the chassis. So maybe I'm in some sort of chassis, and this is just my level and my version of where I'm at in life economically. So this is what I see. Why do I see it? Because I believe it. I went and bought it. But had I had more money, I would have been in line 5. When I went to the auction to get this, I was in line 3. I'm looking between line 1, 2, and 3 because line 4 and 5, that's over $10,000. Don't even look over there if you don't have $10,000. So, my mind can't even think over there. I can't even believe what I see is what I am experiencing. This is thinking crazy land, of course, but it's thinking big. It's thinking outside of where we are comfortable even. You're telling me that I possibly am not driving a Ford Escape? I'm driving a, I don't know. All I'm saying is just that, what if we can just stop for 1 second and say that I'm seeing this, and yes, this is my reality and this is where I'm at in the world, but what if someone looking at me sees something different? But we'll never know because they're walking right by, dealing with all their life and all their experiences. Dodge Chargers are old. E-Class chassis, exactly. I don't know that as fact. Rob Lowe 2000, what's up, man? Would Whoopi be suspended? Should Whoopi be suspended? You know, I thought about this Whoopi Goldberg thing too. Should Whoopi be suspended? I like suspensions. I do. I love it. I've given a lot of suspensions in the bar business. I had bartenders acted up. Take a week off. They're like, what? What? Take a week off. It checks a person, you know? I'm into suspensions. Salute. Precious becomes a chef over there. Yeah, I'm into it. So yeah, Whoopi Goldberg getting suspended, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, to me, it was an attack on men. It was an attack on Jews. It was an attack on men. She's so stuck on male bashing that she'll figure out any way to just male bash. She's always attacking the white man, you know, and men, period, I'm sure. But it's, to me, it's always the white man I hear her attacking, like, you know, acting like all these, you know, like, it was an attack on men. This is not an attack on race. This is an attack on man's this is not an attack on race. This is an attack on humans' inability to be humane or something like that. Or humans' inability, man's inability, this is an attack not on man, not on race, but on man's inability to humility. Whatever it was attack on men. She's so stuck. She figured out every way to attack a man, and then she messed up. So she got her ass suspended. Get out of here, Whoopi. Better suspended than canceled. But what is canceled? Kanye West has been canceled 28 times and he's still popping. What is canceled? Who can cancel you? Yo, do you know that guy? What's this guy? He was canceled from one of these news programs. And I was listening to a podcast, and they were like, yo, whatever happened to what's his name who got canceled? And they went to his YouTube channel. The guy got like 250,000, 300,000 subscribers. This guy's getting 70,000 views a day. He got a check coming in. Who's canceled? That's not real. Canceled from where? Twitter? How many people have Twitter? Come on, what is it? 0.01, maybe 0.0004% of the population is on Twitter? Come on. Canceled. You can't keep a good man or a woman down. That's a fact. Whoopi, she can still act. She can still produce. Whoopi, money is long. Whoopi probably has art in her home that is worth millions of dollars. Okay? Whoopi's art is probably insane. Come on. Thank you for the bullseye, Deep Impressions. That's because you is coach. Huh? That's cause. That's a fact. Eating each other? I don't remember that. I don't remember hearing that. Pay attention. Yeah, man. We're in New York City. Time for me to head home. Should I say goodbye or should we go for a ride? You guys want to see the town a little bit? And that would kind of give me a chance to do what, you know, every time I get a little distracted. So I started the distraction a little earlier than the live. I would like to maybe continue maybe finish this up, but I'm not going to finish it up on camera. Only because I have choices and I choose not to. Oh, let me look here. My cousin keeps telling me to look here. That's where you guys can see me. So I have to look into that little black hole instead of myself. Boom. Thank you for the watch compliment, whoever did that. You know who you are. Hashtag Zoom. This live was popping tonight, Chef. Good vibes. Check out those coins. Oh, yeah, I will. I promise I will. I really need to check out the coins, but my money's just been really tight. I'm trying to do the finishing touches on this bakery. I got the website almost done. That costs a lot of money. You got to get the right server, all these kind of little things. Branding something, it's not easy, and it's expensive. If you're gonna build it while you fly it, you're gonna, there's gonna be turbulence, and those turbulence always equates money. Retrocausality, it's such an interesting topic. It's so like, it's like, it's time to test your intellectual skills out with this whole concept, and just not sleep on what's happening and not brush it off as that doesn't mean anything, because it might have some serious meaning, or it's being prepared for something very serious. I need to get new wipers, man. These wipers, I haven't even had a year, and they just don't want to wipe right any longer. These were the most expensive wipers they had. I treated myself. I said, I'm going to buy the most expensive wipers. I'm tired of these mediocre wipers. And let me tell you, these things work as well as the mediocre ones. I don't even know if I said that properly. As well as. It's okay. Okay. Yeah, these are Rain-X. These things were $34.99 each. I'm gonna go old school though, man. I'm gonna go old school wiper. I'm not gonna get none of these new fly high-tech stuff. I'm gonna go with the old stuff. Look at this guy. He's all oiled up. Interesting. Yes. Okay. I promise I will be. And peace to you. Who was that? Something impressions? Deep impressions? I like that. Where is the snow? The snow is gone, it appears, right? Yeah, it's been like a 4-day process getting rid of the snow. And it's just all been rain, and right now it's 41 degrees. It was 30, it was like 31 most of the day, and then in the last 2 hours it's jumped up. I saw it go up to 35 and then 38. Now it says 41. I, I went to my favorite hat store in Brooklyn today. I didn't get any hats. The 2 or 3 that I was really interested in, they didn't have my size. He said, come back March 1st. So, while there, I bumped into a man that I saw. I saw this man when I was driving by a few weeks ago. This man was standing outside in front of a deli, and he was openly urinating in the streets and facing the people, like he was in the middle of the sidewalk doing this. So he's in the middle of the sidewalk urinating, facing like the traffic, so people driving by could see him. And while not urinating onto the streets or in between cars or on the side of a wall, he's openly urinating in the street, in the sidewalk, for the whole world to see. And today, when I was leaving the hat store, I get in my vehicle and I hear like what sounded like girls gasping. And these young ladies were gasping for air. Like, I heard the gasping, so it drew my attention, and they ran into the store. And I panned my eyes over to the right, and in front of the chicken spot, one of those like Kennedy Fried Chicken spots, this same man is urinating in front of the damn chicken spot. Literally, just like he's just urinating, and like a long stream. We're talking like, I don't know, 25 seconds stream, 35, 40 second stream. So I pulled out my phone and I'm capturing this man's stream, his urinating and how rude he is. And then I was able to capture the young ladies who come out of the store, because they only ran into the store because they saw the man there, and then they didn't want to walk by him. But you see, this is what I talk about a lot, how in this city, this New York City, is a bit of a stage. This is a place that there's so much being staged to make it look a lot more crowded than it is. First of all, that's the first thing. This city is empty. All these apartments, all these people. There are not a lot of people. In small little areas, yes, but for the most part, there are not a lot of people, and there's no one living in these buildings. Most of these buildings are empty. They just keep the lights on just to look like a city. And also, let me think. Sorry, I'm just getting a little distracted over here. There it goes. The city is, so this man is urinating in the streets, but I wound up recording it. And what do I find when I'm recording this man? Something that I talk about all the time is that this city is staged. Do you know this man was not urinating from any penis whatsoever? He had a huge bag of liquid under his shirt, under his coat, and he has like a tube. He's urinating out of a tube, and it wasn't a urinating bag, like let's say something that like a hospital would provide. No, this was some sort of prop. This psychopath is standing in the middle of the sidewalk, grossing everyone out in front of a freaking chicken spot. What appears to be urinating, but it's not. He's just one of the many plants all in this city. He's the one of the many plants in this city. This city has so much. It's like the John Wick movies, where the homeless in the John Wick movie are all like spies, and there's like this huge underbelly of the city that's operating with their codes of honor and all kind of what's the word, esoteric, all this kind of secrecy going on. And what happens? And let me just say this to you, that movie did not influence me. It wasn't until after I saw the movie, I said, this is what I've been talking about for years. That's what happened. It's like it's like all these people, they're just out all over different areas, and they're urinating on the streets, and it ain't even urine. It's like a prop bag. The guy's not even homeless or crazy. This is his like job. This is like a whole city is full of this stuff. And this one, I'm so glad I captured it. There's another guy a few blocks away from where we're at now, by Rockefeller Center, and he's always digging in the garbage. But if you look at his cart, I'm sure I have pictures of this guy. His cart is just bottle cans placed in certain areas, and he's looking all crazy, always looking through the same garbage. He knows that people are walking by. They're not looking. They're not stopping to say, oh, wow, look at this guy. I stopped to look at the guy, and I'm looking at his cart, and dude, this is exact same bottles from yesterday and 3 days ago. What's going on here? This is some sort of, like what? So I've seen it many times in this town. And yes, I know this is crazy land. I'm aware of that. I'm aware how this sounds. But as you can see, I get around this town and my mind is wide open and I'm being observant. And I do have the video too of that, of the guy urinating. I just don't know if I can put it on my shorts because of it might be looked at and viewed out as the community guidelines. I don't want to disrupt the community guidelines like that, because especially if I'm spot on and I'm recognizing this and I post that might, the algorithm might not appreciate that. But let me tell you, man, this town is full, and it's crazy is that it's like there's a whole nother group, right, of these people, and you should see them. I'm telling you, man, they're like actors, and it's so bizarre. Their teeth are always nicer than you would think. Their clothes are always clean, but they just like spray painted dirt on them. It's so freaking bizarre. All right, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because this is like I'm sounding so crazy. But let me just say this for the record. That guy staring up at the sky, screaming at the top of his lungs while you're running past him to catch that bus, to catch that train. He's possibly there on purpose for a reason. Maybe it's to keep you from going home and killing your spouse. Maybe it's to have you make that appointment in the morning on time. Maybe this person is there because without this person being there, it would be total chaos. Total and utter chaos. We need the bottom. We need the bottom. Without the bottom, how will we be satisfied with the top? Because what will probably happen is we'll probably get together and try to figure out some things. We'll probably wouldn't need reality TV anymore. We'll be making our own reality TV. For real, for real. Because if it wasn't the bottom, then all we would do is continue to try to strive for the top. And what would that be? We would have to go up. We would be doing tours in space. We would be flying all the way to the bottoms of the sea. We would be building machines that were, go all the way to the bottom, not just where we're at now. It would be in an amazing place to be, probably. But I don't think they want that. And who's they? And I just say they is the power structure. The evil ones. Matt would call it the not milk. Excuse me. The not milk are, it's Clinton spelled backwards. I always like the not milk. I think he's trying to change it to something else. How we doing in here? Appreciate the view of the city. Yeah, I'm sorry the window's not, the window wiper is not as good as it could be. I'll get on top of that. It's totally plausible what you're saying. I appreciate that. Sounds like Crazyland, Chef. Yes, of course, it is Crazyland. Are you kidding me? Crazyland. The last thing we want is Crazyland? Yeah, right. Then why do we play so many video games? Why do we have so much zombie movies? Why do we have so much killings? Why is there like always why are there always the same kind of deaths on the same blocks in every city and every town with the same name? Some of them even with the same numbers, the same addresses all across the country. Same address, same kind of murders. Crazy. Crazyland. Oh yes. I am speaking Crazyland and you're welcome. You're very welcome. My Cash App is $ Elvis Rosenberg. One word. I'm trying to take you to crazy land. You're welcome. And that's not ego. That's just me being silly. Oh, thanks a lot, Naked Matrix, for the affected. See, I'm always wrong. I always get that so crazy, and that was at the 8 minute. Oh no, that was at 8:49 p.m. Appreciate you, Big Wig, doing all that comment, doing all that commenting. You too, Red Face 707. I appreciate all the comments, and you guys can always speak amongst yourselves. I think I'm gonna go for the monetization of the channel, y'all. I think I'm gonna do that sooner than later. I have enough views. You need 4,000 views, 4,000 hours. Is it 4,000 hours? Yeah. And I think I'm up to like 100,000 hours, so I'm well overdue. Am I at 100,000 hours or 100,000 views? I can't remember. But I'm over the 4,000 hours. Maybe get monetized. I would like to bring LJ on board so we can do reactionary videos, because she's so good. But she knows how social media and she knows about how it kind of destroys relationships. So maybe she's a little nervous for those reasons. So she's kind of like backing up a little bit. She's probably thinking that I don't know what she's thinking. I don't want to speak for what she's thinking. Trust me, I've asked. Trust me on that. I've asked. This is Park Avenue we're on. Made for some new wiper blades. Oh my goodness. Seriously. What time is it? Oh, they close. Well, they close. I'll never make it to the AutoZone on Jerome Avenue. They closing in 19 minutes. I'll never make that. I'll get them tomorrow. Yeah, this city is very peaceful. Nobody in it. Let me tilt it up a little bit so you can see like 7 people in each building. And then some buildings where no one is even in it, like this one here, no one is even in this one. To the right, it's like no, just no one's there. There's tons of that, all this whole town. And then they'll put a few lights will come on, but every day it's the same lights. It's so hilarious. I have a friend who just moved to 81st York. And he's like, yo, man. I was like, yo, how's the new neighborhood? Because he's from 81st and Amsterdam. So he moved to 81st in York, directly across town. And I was like, how is it being on the east side? He says, I've been here for a few months. And he's like, but it's like no one's here. And I'm like, yeah, right? And he was like, no. He's like, no, it's like, this is him telling me, like, no, you don't understand. It's like, I feel weird saying it, but sometimes when I'm jogging, he's like, it seems like the same lights are on in these houses when I'm driving by. And I'm like, really? He says, yes, it's always the same, light. It doesn't change. He's like, it feels like no one's in. And I was like, wow. He says, no, I know how, he's like, I know how it sounds. I know how it sounds. I'm not like that. I'm not like, he's like letting me know. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those. He's talking to me. But, I don't want to, I can't, I'm not trying to go into, if I'm chefing for somebody, I'm cooking for somebody, I'm not going to start busting down, alternative ways of thinking. Because I did that already and I will not do that again. That's not the way you keep clients. They like it, of course. They think it's funny. You're out the box, blah, 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 whatever have you. But it's best to remain professional and do the job at hand. And he was like, I'm not one of those, man. I'm not one of those. But let me tell you, man, I'm riding. He said when he's jogging down the east side, the river, because now he jogs on the river side of Manhattan, like not the west side. He's on the east side, so I guess it's the Harlem River, the FDR Drive. So he's at the FDR Drive. He's jogging, and he's like, "Yo, dude, it's just no one's here." He's like, and then he said something really interesting. He says, listen, did you bump into anybody in the building? And I was like, no, I haven't seen anyone, just the doorman. And he goes, yeah. He says, I've only bumped into the same 4 people the whole time I've been here. I was like, wow. He's like, yeah. It's like, no one is here. He's like, we're going back to the west side. Because, it's true. The west side is popping. The east side, not so much. See this big building, only 2 people are home. One there and one over there. 2 apartments in that whole building. Nobody's home. Whole rows of people not home. Like this one here. These are just like whole entire rows of apartments. How is that every floor on that line, like let's say that's the E line or the J line, every single apartment on the J line, no one turns that light on. Look at this one and how fake this one is with all these lights on for no reason. That's like, come on. Anyway, I digress. You have to go back like a few years ago. I might have 1 or 2 videos up where I did like a whole like a whole beta test, and I went block after block after block after block, and I did it for like about 3-4 days. You gotta find that stuff, man. That stuff is deep. The title is not gonna tell it to you. You're gonna have to You're gonna have to be there. See, once you get past 96th Street, this is like, seems to be real, especially on the west side. It's like popping over there. Some certain areas in the city, there's a lot of people, certain areas, it's just not enough. And they, it's a ruse. It's a total ruse. It's like, no. Just real. It's just really bizarre. What else we got here? No, I haven't watched any of the Olympics. I haven't watched any of the Olympics. I got some buses up ahead. I don't know if I could get past these buses. There's a depot right here. And they make the right turn into the depot. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Do I have a specialty dish? Anything Italian. Bouillonnaise sauces, all kind of Italian foods. From scratch. With the peeled tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. And the crushed tomatoes and the olive oils and the breads and the cheeses and all that. I can make I make a couple of good dishes like that. Then American style, like, you're never gonna get a steak cooked the way I can cook it, to perfection. To perfection. Oh my God. That's the thing that people need to understand. If you're cooking for someone, there are no mistakes that you can make when it comes to a steak. It's not you just can't. You're not gonna have a job. Not in this town. Most people in this town want to see what you can do with an egg and see what you can do with a steak. You better learn how to cook your eggs 5 different ways. And be ready to have 5 different ways you're making your eggs for the family. One kid wants the eggs this way, the other kid wants the eggs that way, and the father wants his eggs this way, and the wife wants her eggs that way, but she really doesn't mind. Whichever was easiest for you, I kind of like it this way, but don't worry about it. Whichever's next, I don't mind. It's okay. You got to deal with all that silly shit. So you better know how to cook a fucking egg if you're gonna be a personal chef for somebody. It's important because anybody could do, waffle mix, pancake mix, and you can put these things down, and you can have the most amazing pancakes and waffles. But that's easy because you got a waffle machine and a little grill right there. And it's easy to get that ingredients together. It's right there in the counter. But how you gonna cook my eggs? It's gonna determine you getting a check. You just can't mess up these people's eggs. Like whenever I cook eggs for my kids, they just want to stand around me. Oh, Daddy, look at Look at the rainbow. Oh my goodness. We had some we had breakfast tacos the other day. And my daughter's like, I don't like scrambled eggs. I said, this is not a scrambled egg. Don't play with it. Look at this egg. I said, it took me 20 years to know how to make an egg this fluffy. Don't play with me. you're gonna eat this egg and you're gonna like it. This ain't your mother's eggs. Respectfully, LJ's scrambled eggs they're usually very brown, not very yellow. that butter gets burnt. Oh man, I was like, this is not your mother's scrambled egg. Don't play with me. You're gonna eat these eggs. And mom definitely put the first ingredient was egg. She put down on that taco, and we added the what's it called? What did we add? We added a whole bunch of stuff to it. It was amazing. It was all a couple of different breakfasts. It was because we had to cook this Irish breakfast sausage, and this Irish breakfast sausage, we only had maybe 2 days left on it, and we just don't. We like to cook things, especially meats, when we get it. And I think even the expiration date was cook. You got to cook it quickly. Oh man, but it's a really good sauce. If you get a chance to have a good breakfast sausage, you want to try that Irish sausage. It's unique, very unique. So we had the Irish sausage, so we added that with the egg, the most incredible, fluffiest egg. It looks like you're in a movie. It looks like it's for an ad or something. The egg is so fluffy and beautiful. And it's not the whipping of it. You don't want all that bubbles. So it's not the whipping that makes it fluffy. It's the cooking and the way you cook it that makes it fluffy. Anyway, I digress from the egg. How do I go from bartender to chef? I opened up a pizzeria. And someone came into my pizzeria and they needed a chef. Unbeknownst to me, the order that the gentleman ordered was a test to me, the chef. So, I opened up the pizzeria. I got the pizzeria. We're open, and a guy comes in and he's looking for pasta dish because he's running the marathon the next day. The next day is the marathon. So he says he wants to carbohydrate, and that he was driving by and he saw that I was open for the last, let's say, 6 months. He said, I've been seeing you've been open for 6 months. I keep driving by. I see you, making pizza. I see you a lot. And then he was just like, I was hoping that you could you make the pasta dish for me? And I was like, of course. And I made him the pasta dish, and then while he was looking at the menu, he was just like, what is this pork chop out of plate? Because in the menu I had pork. And just, if I was a better YouTuber, I would just and it just said ask me about the pork chop or something like that. And he's like, what's up with the pork chop? And I was like, well, I was advertising it as the 1-inch pork chop. Or was it the half-inch pork? The 1-inch pork chop. So he said, what's this 1-inch pork chop? And I was like, I cook you a pork chop. And he was just like, I'll try that. So I made this man the most amazing fucking pork chop you would ever imagine. He was like, what? It's like, where did you go to school? And I was like, well, I'm self-taught, and I learned how to cook French cuisine and Italian cuisine from a chef named Emilio Drakes. And Emilio Drake's was like my teacher. He taught me everything I knew when I was a dishwasher at several different spots coming up from 17 years old as a kid, a teenager. And all the little jobs that I got were through him. And he would always hook me up. So he was a French chef, and so he taught me how to cook. And that's how it happened. So as I left the bar business, I had the money and I had the passion for the chefing. So I became basically I made myself a chef by all the things that I learned throughout the years. From when I was 17 to, let's say, 27, off and on. This is Harlem. And next thing you know, I'm opening my own pizzeria, and I got I'm the chef. I'm the chef and owner, and I'm very passionate about it too. But it just I didn't have what it took to win, so I had to let that go. And it worked out because I got a job from that guy. I want to be a personal chef to him and his family. And it's been popping ever since. Life has been okay. So I no longer chef for him. He left the country with his family. I think he's in London now. So depending on if they come into town, they'll go to a hotel where there's cooking facilities there, and I can always just chef for them whenever they come into town and make them something amazing. Amazing salad, nice little something small they can just boom, a little mousse bouche style, they can just pop in their mouth just to, get everything, get all the juices flowing and all that kind of stuff, and then bring on the main course and then a little dessert. And it's always a beautiful thing. And there's tons of people doing this. I'm not the only one. New York City, man, it requires a lot of maintenance. If we're in some sort of reality machine, this machine requires massive upkeep and massive maintenance. And there always has to be a bottom. There has to be a person, and I think reality TV, for me able to work for all this time, reality TV has people like if, let's say, you're a massage therapist, these are good jobs to get into or good careers, because people are watching these housewives. They're getting, women are steam bathing their vaginas. They're sitting on machines that are, hitting them with all kind of sprays and all this kind of stuff. And regular women want that. And they serious about it. They want the massages, they want their nails done, they want their hair done. Regular, everyday people are out there wanting to be like a reality TV star. So it's a beautiful thing. They want personal chefs, all that kind of stuff. And you got to charge a lot of money too, man, or else you're going to get no respect in this town. Somebody's going to say, yo, I got this chef. My chef costs me $700 a day. And somebody's going to be like, what? I don't even know. I got a chef with a Jewish name, and he's charging a day. And he don't even look Jewish. You got to meet this guy, and his cool's off the hook. His this and that. Yo, he makes Mediterranean food. You have no idea. Whatever you want to do, he's like, he's making all kind of stuff. He could take the lamb and turn it into something you think it came out of Jordan. And he costs me this much. And then somebody else got a chef that costs them that much. This is the city and the world we live in. There has to be a bottom. So you get ahead and charge $150 a day. You're gonna be living a sad life. Get ahead and charge $400 a day. Then you might get some respect in this town. But let me tell you, there's a lot of groupies in this town. A lot of chef groupies in this town. It's ridiculous. You know, there's something for everyone. There's something for everyone. The chef world is crazy, man. Cutthroat. Can get very violent, very bloody, very fast with the wrong chef. You gotta have thick skin, man. I've been cursed out so many times coming up as a kid. I remember walking down the streets crying because I wanted to kill somebody for the way they talked to me, man. They talked to me so mean, so rough. Hurt my feelings so bad. Called me names, called me stupid, idiot. Picked me up and slammed me on the wall. Choked me out. Not choke me out, but like put me in the headlock. Because if another steak comes back over here and it ain't cooked right, you know, they're gonna kill you, man. That's how they act. So it was crazy, man, coming up in that little world for the, you know, that time in my life when I was a kid. But I never lost the passion. I love it. You know, I love to cook. Exactly. Thank you, Christopher Perkins. I appreciate you. I don't know if that quite explains how did I go from bartending to chef. The bartending thing was, I stopped bartending 5 years after I started bartending, and I became a manager. So I didn't really bartend for the last 5, 6, 7 years of my what's it called, world. My maybe not, no, maybe let's say 4 years. 4 years of my bar world career, I was more of a manager, and then 3 years I was a managing partner, which basically means I can still be fired, but I get a percentage of the business. You know, I wasn't the owner or anything like that. Right? And then they always threaten to fire you every time something goes wrong. They're like, they don't know if they're gonna keep you and all that kind of silly shit. But you know, I made them a lot of money. So that's one thing I know how to do, is run a ship. Oh, I could run a ship. I don't play. I can definitely run a ship. But you know, my problem with doing the chefing is that I kind of have to teach myself not to be like that to other people, because you can't do that kind of stuff to people anymore in the chef world. You can't put your hands on people. You can't yell at people. You can't do that. And that's why, yo, I got to keep it real with you, man. I'm in like therapy. I'm in therapy for this, man. And I told my number one thing I told my therapist was, I don't want to yell at my staff. I'm about to open up a bakery. I'm about to open up, you know, I just can't, this new business of mine, I don't want to yell at my staff. And I have a problem with that. I don't want to berate somebody. I don't want to say horrible things that's going to hurt their feelings. But it's like, that's the world I came from. And there was nothing you could do. You got barked on, but you better be here tomorrow at 6 a.m. And you're going to cut all these onions. You're going to prep all this. Matter of fact, take every single thing from out of every refrigerator and scrub this thing from head to toe. And you're going to cook 600, you're going to cook 60 steaks tonight. And if you don't, we're going to curse you out the whole time. So I am definitely working on that as we speak, because I don't want to yell at my staff. I want to keep a level head. I want to be able to, I just I don't want to do that anymore. Because you can't keep people. People are not having that anymore. They're not living like that. That's that's not going to work in 2022. 2022, man. You curse somebody out, they're not coming back to work, and they're going to vandalize your place on the way out. And they're going to be young and strong and want to fight you because they already sized you up. When I was coming up, you did all those things. We still did those things, but in our own ways. In our own ways. Never really, it was all in our minds. We resolved it in our minds. We figured it out. We toughened up. We put our chin up. And we kept our head down at the same time. And you got through the day. You got through the shift. But you felt something. You felt something good. Okay. Respect the like button, shout out. Who are you? Come on, 42. Okay. That's sweet. That's what's up. I come from the school of the Troy terrain. We're not the promoters of the like button. We leave that to the comment section to do that. We do what we do, you do what you do. This is the 155th Street Bridge. Right in front of us is Yankee Stadium. You have been signed at the 9 o'clock, the inside of the 9 o'clock, the bullseye of the 9 o'clock, the west of the 9 o'clock, I don't know. fast. You should go, sir. Sir, you should go. Thank you. Don't get nervous. Take your time. But you should be. He got like, and this guy got like a paper. It's a very, probably this person's first new car. I didn't want to honk. That was the person behind me that honked. I know it could get scary going up that, going over like that. Properly defogged. Everything is under control. I take this every day. Don't get nervous. I never went over 35 miles an hour. Whoa. Thank you for tuning in. I didn't read the last things because I didn't want to break my concentration. You are appreciated for checking out this small channel on YouTube. That's Big Elvis Chef Rosenberg. I'm here. And I love you.